Evening all, back at the tractor, and we managed to take the cover off. It goes here, there it is over on the workbench, and we also had to take out one of the brake drums. It comes out of this hole here. To do that though, made it a bit easier for ourselves. We took the seat and bracketry off. It's laid down there by the sunderhead. Made it easier to get into. So we got all those bits off, and this tractor seems to be the tractor of loose gears. What with the camshaft gear here, thing loose, and now the first reduction gear is loose on its shaft. Now I would say it's loose on the input shaft of the gearbox, but I believe that shaft is actually called the overdrive gear shaft. Certainly in the books it's called that. Now obviously that shaft should have a little bit of play on it, just by the way it works. But the gear certainly should not be loose on the shaft. And I don't know if you can see that, but that is seriously got problems there. I'm hoping it's just a collapsed bearing inside the gearbox. If it's not, I know that's a tapered shaft with a tapered hole in the gear. If it's not, it could be that it's just over the years come slack and worn. I hope not, but anyway, we shall see. I did put the pulley back on just to see where it sits, and on its extremities, it's, as you can see here, it's way across where it should be. It should sit about there really. One of the problems initially when I took the cover off was this bearing here had totally collapsed, absolutely. Now I've seen that on 2 or 3 other tractors I've done, but not as badly as this one. That one really was. There was no balls or anything, no ball bearings in it at all. So whether that's had some impact on what's going on, I don't know. But I've decided before we take the crankshaft out, I just want to leave it in so I can line everything up. And I might just take the dash out with the transmission cover, which holds obviously all the gear sticks. I just want to see what's going on in there before I just take the crank out, because it gives me an idea roughly where things should sit. I've also discovered, never noticed it before, but the PTO lever seems very vague, and when you put it into drive and turn the gearbox over, the PTO shaft doesn't go round. So that too not very promising at the moment. But we shall see. I'll see better once I take that top off. So yeah. A couple of things of interest. These tractors don't have any form of crankshaft oil seal on them. This here is a screw, and the idea is it runs very close to the cover that sits over it. And the idea is it screws any oil back into the gearbox that should venture this way, which work well really, they don't wear out. But one of the problems with them is if you overfill them with oil, the oil does eventually overwhelm this and eventually gets through into the clutch, and that's what certainly has happened with this one. There's oil sitting inside this, the oil was sitting inside this clutch assembly. So that's what that's about. There is a bit of a seal in this side, but it's more of a dust seal more than anything else. Again, it just relies on a couple of bits of casting, machine casting, to keep the oil within the crankcase, which I can show when we take it to bits. As you can see, there's a lot of horrible gunk in here, debris, muck, and you can see this bearing. Should be a bearing here which held in with a snap ring. It's all It's all jiggered and damaged. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I think we'll take that transmission cover off, see what's going on, and go from there really. So I may also tip a couple of gallons of diesel into the transmission and turn it over a couple of times. It'll just help swill all the crap out of it and rubbish that's in there. I did drain the oil out of it last night and it was like treacle. That's not unusual. Right, okay then, bash on.